welcome back to a brand new video. I hope that you are all having a fabulous day today and that you're being kind to yourselves. Now, before we get into the speed build, I want to do my very last Subsember shout out. Now, if you don't know, Subsember was arranged by It's OBGem on Twitter. I'll link all her information down below because she is an absolute sweetheart. But Subsember is basically a way for small content creators to shout each other out, to just show our appreciation and basically just share some love amongst each other, and hopefully someone watching this will then be introduced to someone new that they want to go check out and that they like. So today's shout out is going to be going to Kamila. She is an absolute sweetheart. I met her on Twitter. I feel like I'm saying I met everyone on Twitter that I've done these shout outs for, but like, Twitter is clearly the place to be. But Kamila is just such an angel. She's one of those people that you can tell like genuinely cares and is so loving. And she's so creative and so talented. She does predominantly speed builds on her channel. She's very soothing and I love that so much. So if you want to go check her out and show her some love, I will link all of her information down below in the description. But let's hop into the speed build. So for this house, I went for a bit of a different style than I would normally do in my builds. If you've been around my channel a little while, you'll know I do a lot of modern builds. But I've been getting into the I've been wanting to experiment a little bit with my building style, and I've been trying to do more traditional looking properties. You might hear in my video that's coming out on Wednesday, I actually filmed that a couple days ago, and I spoke about this in that video, where I said about how the build I did in that video was like the first one in a while that I've done. It's like a proper suburban home. But it might not make sense because now this video is going to be coming out before it, but I recorded that before I recorded this one. So I was gonna say this is like the first suburban home as such, but you'll hear that in my voiceover on Wednesday. Anyway, it's a little confusing. Anyway, I'm pre-recording if you can't tell. It's just a bit of a chaotic mess. But yes, so this is like a very different style for me. Very different, but I had a lot of fun playing around with it. I really am having a lot of fun trying out new styles and stuff, and I was inspired by a friend I had. She lived in a cottage in the middle of nowhere, and it was just one little it didn't look like this, but like the kind of place it was and the surroundings, it reminded me a lot of this sort of style. There was a lot of trees around her, a lot of landscaping, wild bushes, wild flowers, everything like that, and it was such a peaceful place, really peaceful. And that's kind of what I wanted to capture with this build, is a very tranquil, happy place, and I do think I've managed to capture that, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, if you have been around my channel, again, I will say you will be aware I always have a story from my families that live in my builds. If you're new, hello, welcome to story time, where I will tell you the story I had in my mind while I was building this house for this specific family that do not exist. Basically, the family that I imagined living here is a mother and father and their 2 children. They have a toddler son and a child-aged girl, and I imagined the mum was traveling a lot for work, so she was here maybe like 11 out of the 12. No, she was away like 11 out of the 12 months a year. So it was just the dad and his 2 kids here. And I imagined the dad was like a painter, he was an artist, so he worked from home, so he was always here for his kids. And I just imagined them being like a very happy family. Obviously, like, it's a shame that the mum's not around very much, but overall they are a very happy family, and they, they're not poor by any means, but they're not like super flashy with their money. I think they just live a very comfortable lifestyle, and I do think you see that in the house. It's a lovely family home. It just has enough space for everyone, but it's nothing too like over the top. But they have this gorgeous little pond area in the back garden, and I think when I started building this house, I didn't have in mind who I wanted the house to be for, and this is my problem, because I don't know why, but to build a house I always need to have a family in mind, and I don't know, I struggle so much to build on stream. Oh, by the way, I have started streaming on Twitch, if you don't know. I've only mentioned it a couple times, but if you enjoy watching people build on stream, definitely come hang out with us if you want to. I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. We don't get that much building done, unfortunately, because I just like to blab a lot and I get very distracted and it's a time, but feel free to come join us if you want. But basically what I was trying to say about that was, I think that's why I struggle to build on stream, because I don't have, like, in preparation, I don't have a family in mind, because we kind of decide, like, me and the chat decide what we're going to build. But then when I'm doing a speed build, I have time to process it and think about who the build is for. But yeah, so I don't think I had anyone in mind until I started building the pond, and that's when it kind of came together. I kind of imagined in that back garden, maybe there was kids sitting beside the pond playing, maybe the mum was home and she had like a picnic basket on the floor, if we could have picnic baskets in The Sims 4. But maybe she'd come home for like her 1 week out of the next like few months and she was having a picnic on the grass. The dad was maybe at a painting easel painting the family. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a really nice sort of picture I had in my mind. And I think that's what motivated the build and gave me this drive for it. So I really, really, really love the way this area turned out. I think it is so, so happy. I think happy is the perfect word. It's very nostalgic, I think. I get very nostalgic looking at it. I just imagine having loads of like really happy childhood memories of hanging out here with your family or maybe having friends around, and it just being like full of laughter and love and sunshine. It just feels very much like that sort of area. Like, I imagine that maybe this is the house that all the kids come to after school, because like there's no safety, maybe there's safety concerns with the pond, maybe a little bit, but like they're just out in the hills, you know, the kids can run around the trees and in the bushes and stuff. Maybe they could go for no, maybe they wouldn't go for a swim. It's pretty stagnant, that pond. I don't think they would go for a swim. But like, you know what I mean? Like, they just can all hang out here and it's just lovely and quiet. Well, maybe it wouldn't be quiet with the kids, but it's just a lovely area. It really is. It makes me smile. I would love to grow up in a house like this. I really would. But also, because of this family and their story, it just felt like a very, very normal family to me. Like, I'm so guilty. I've said this before. I'm so guilty in The Sims of building just like perfect family homes. I don't build many family homes though, but like just perfect homes where everything's perfect, there's the perfect amount of space, they all have like specific areas for specific things and everything just flows perfectly. But this house, I really wanted to capture that just normal family house sort of feel. And I think I managed that pretty well actually. Out here at the back, you'll see I put this barbecue in this little table area. This did change slightly because when I was trying to do the floor plan, it was very, very crammed and like really like weird like shapes I was having to make rooms big enough for things. And while I wanted it to be a reasonably compact home, I needed a floor plan to at least feel like okay rather than being really like jagged and a bit all over the place. So I did extend the house back a little bit so that porch area is slightly bigger now, only a tiny bit. But yeah, I don't know, you might notice. But I do think I managed to capture this normal family feel. You'll see the floor plan we have here. I think it really works actually with the kind of more traditional house. Now, you would have seen we had dormers upstairs. I didn't actually make use of the space that's up in the attic. You can easily make use of it. There is space up there to put like a bedroom or something. You could have 2 small bedrooms, you could have another bathroom and a bedroom. I don't know, you could make space. It's just I didn't bother because I felt like then it gave the house a different feel to what I wanted it to have. That was just more aesthetically looking like outside. But yeah, you could make use of it. There is space up there. But here we have a 3-bedroom house, and the bedrooms are all like smallish. They're not super big. The main, like the master, I guess, is pretty decent size. But you'll see we have this little entrance hall with like clutter and stuff where they just come in and bung their stuff down. We have the 1 bathroom here, and I like that it came out of this little entrance hall. I don't know, it just felt very... You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of a traditional farmhouse. I don't know why, just this one little area looking at it now, that entrance porch and that bathroom. I don't know, but I love this kitchen. This kitchen's really, really nice. You'll notice we have a blue theme going on. I put these bricks that are on the exterior on the interior as well of certain walls because I imagined that maybe the house was renovated like 10 years ago, so like it's newly renovated as such, but it's starting to look a little bit dated again. But there's like bricks on some of the original walls. Maybe they kept them as a feature wall, but also then maybe they extended that side part that sticks out a little bit. So there's bricks along the interior walls where those rooms join, just because I imagined they were the original walls, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm cluttering the place up. You might notice I put loads and loads of plants everywhere. I normally put plants in all my builds, but I put a lot more in this one because I imagined that they love their plants. I mean, if you look at the outside, I think they love their plants. So I carried it forward. Although looking at this now, I'm just realising this kitchen isn't functional because I haven't left an empty counter space. So I will go back and fix that before I upload it. Yeah, it should be fine if I just move some items to the very back of the counter and make sure the front area is free. I'm pretty sure they'll be usable then. But this is the thing, I often do my build and do the voiceover or whatever and edit it all, and then just before I upload it I go and play test it, and then sometimes I have to shift one or two odd items just a tiny bit. Nothing that you'd notice, but that's kind of my process, because it's usually, it kind of refreshes my mind and I'm watching it back and I'm looking, I'm like, I don't think that's usable. So yeah, just know it will be usable when I upload it to the gallery. Also, my ID is RibbityYT if you do want to download it. It might not be up straight away because I tend to forget to upload it for a couple hours after my video goes live. So if it's not up when you go to check, just check back a couple hours later. I'm sure it'll be up. I'm sure it will be. One day I will know to upload it as soon as my video goes live. One day I will. But yeah, here is the little laundry area. I absolutely love how this looks. I think this is really realistic. I mean, it's not, maybe not realistic isn't the word, because I don't know who has their washing machine and stuff in their living room, but it's realistic in the sense that they have all this stuff and they've just had to find a place for it because they didn't have a specific place already, whereas normally my builds I'd make sure they have a specific place, but I like that they're just having to make it work. It's really not practical though. Could you imagine sitting watching TV and you've got the tumble dryer on? That would not be practical at all. But I like how this room kind of doesn't flow. That just feels quite realistic to me. It does. And I like having this little corner here with the dining table that's just tucked away. I like that. I spent so long trying to figure out what to put on the wall above the dining table. So long. I don't know why. It was just one of those things. Nothing was working. Nothing was working. I wasn't liking any of it. But then I decided to go with that little kids drawing thing. I really like that. It's really nice. But yeah, what I was saying was, you'll notice there's like an overall colour scheme of blue, because I thought maybe the dad's favourite colour is blue, and he's a painter, so maybe he likes painting the walls as well, and the windows and doors, you'll notice they were all blue. It was all kind of inspired by the nifty knitting door that I picked, and it had this gorgeous blue swatch, so then like the windows were all this nice colour, and then I carried that inside. And all the walls are like just different shades of bluey, teal and all that sort of stuff. They're all just kind of mixing and matching, nice and creative, I think. But then you'll also notice I throw in a bunch of other colours here and there just to break it up a little bit. But you can see there's definitely a distinct blue colour scheme. But I like that, having the blue and then throwing in just some odd colours, because like in reality, I know in my house nothing matches completely. Like my furniture, I've bought all my furniture at different points like in my life, so like none of it matches, and I like doing that with this build, that none of it really matches. But that is so realistic to me. Like unless you're maybe just moved into a new house, or you're going to be moving into a new house and you go out and buy a bunch of furniture in the one day, then obviously things are going to match more. You might buy a big set or something, but for the average person, you're just buying something when you need it, so you're not going to have loads of matching stuff. But I do like that. It gives it a very comforting feel, I think. I do think it does. But this is the little boy's room. It's quite a compact little room, it is, but I mean, it does the job. I feel like it's quite realistic to have small rooms, especially in a more traditional property. They don't have big spaces. And then this is the child girl's room, and I love those suitcases as a bedside. I never use them really. I do really like them because they're quite stylistic, but I thought maybe like she has these old suitcases, I don't know, so they used them like that. But I like the colour scheme in here. I really love this sort of nice like tealy colour with the pink. I think it's such a beautiful colour scheme. It's a very happy room. It's very bright in here, but I like that a lot. And I love those pictures with the little fairy lights. They came from Kids Room Stuff, and honestly that's the best item that came from Kids Room Stuff. I love them so much. But yeah, again, it's quite a small room. You've got a computer though, so that's great. Again, I just clutter up with some toys and stuff. And that stuff's not going to be usable, I don't think. I'll try it. I really don't think it's going to... I can't imagine how it would be usable. But I thought it was kind of nice to sit up there. I mean, she has other toys around the house, so like, they're not the only toys. They're just more for show, I would say. But there's lots of toys outside as well, because I imagine it being like nice and sunny a lot of the time. I know it's not going to be. If you have seasons, it's definitely not going to be nice and sunny all the time, but I imagine this house just being in like a little bubble of sunshine is what I imagine. But I really, really like this room. I think it has a lot of personality, which is nice. That's why I like having stories for my builds, because I feel like I can get a nice bit of personality into it. And then this is the last room. This is, I mean, I was going to say the mum and dad's room, but let's face it, it's mainly just the dad's room. And I really like the space. I originally wanted this space to be the living room, but unfortunately I couldn't get the floor plan to work. Well, unfortunately, no, not really unfortunately, because I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really like this being the dad's bedroom because, yeah, you'll see I put this easel here because I imagined, you know, if it's a bit rainy, he might want to come inside and paint here, and then he's got these lovely big windows to look out into the garden and get some inspiration. So I think it works out really nicely, actually. I do like it, and again he's got this blue colour scheme and lots of plants and a little bit of colour popping about, so it's nice, it's really nice. I also put an easel outside in the garden too in case it's nice weather, and he can go paint out there. But I think it's a really relaxing space. I love all the light pouring in. I love the fact that it's facing the pond. I think that's really, really pretty. Yeah, I think it's a really nice space. Also, I love that. I never knew that existed until this build, but that's so perfect. I normally put down the newspaper that came with cats and dogs. I normally put that down under my easels. But anyway, this video is coming to an end just now, so I want to say thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate it. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe because I upload every Wednesday and Sunday with more challenges and speed builds. But I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day today, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Bye!